Celeste, and today we're going to learn about App UI design.
App UI design involves designing the visual interface of a mobile app, including elements such as colors, typography, icons, and layout. In this course, you will learn the basics of App UI design and how to create a beautiful UI design inspired by Midjourney, an AI-based platform. We will use various tools and methods, and you will gain valuable skills. What's amazing about AI is that we can take inspiration from Midjourney and transform the generated image into a beautiful UI design. I will teach you how to use Midjourney, an AI-based platform that assists artists and designers in creating high-quality digital content quickly and easily in generating images. We will be designing a music maker app inspired by this generated image. As we progress through the design process, we will explore deeper levels of design to create an immersive and visually stunning 3D keyboard piano, layouts, and buttons in a neumorphism style. By incorporating soft shadows and gradients, we can create a sense of depth and realism that will elevate the user experience to new heights. The primary goal of App UI design is to provide users with a seamless and enjoyable experience. This is achieved by deeply understanding user behavior, preferences, and the app's purpose, features, and functionalities. On the other hand, a poorly designed UI can cause frustration and dissatisfaction among users. Therefore, designers must understand UI design principles and best practices. Designing an application involves more than creating a visually appealing interface. It also requires crafting a seamless user experience that encompasses both UI and UX design to provide an intuitive and satisfying journey for users. UI design tools are software applications for creating digital designs, prototypes, and design systems for websites, mobile apps, and other digital products. Popular UI design tools include Figma, Sketch, and Adobe XD. These tools offer a range of features for creating vector graphics, wireframes, interactive prototypes, and design systems. Today, we will use Figma to design the UI of our app. When designing mobile apps, it's important to consider the platform. Both iOS and Android have their own guidelines for building app UI design, so following them is essential for creating an app that looks great and provides an intuitive user experience. Today, we'll focus on designing for iOS. If you're interested in designing for Android, we encourage you to read the Android design guidelines to better understand the platform and its design principles. The Figma community is a great resource for design inspiration and materials. It's a platform where designers can discover and share design resources such as templates, UI kits, and icons. Additionally, it offers design systems, wireframes, and illustrations. Users can collaborate on projects and receive feedback from others. We will need the iOS 16 UI kit for Figma by Joey Banks, which offers pre-made design elements like icons, buttons, and UI components. Icons provide visual clarity and convey messages or ideas quickly without requiring written text. They occupy less space than text, making them ideal for compact interfaces like mobile devices. Icons can make interfaces more user-friendly by reducing the need for written instructions and adding visual interest to designs. Good typography is essential for clear and visually appealing language. It determines how viewers interpret visual content and plays a significant role in engagement. Typography selection goes beyond just fonts to include size, style, spacing, and alignment. The right choices clarify the information hierarchy, highlight essential content, and convey brand identity. Color plays a critical role in app design, as it can impact everything from the user's mood and emotions to the accessibility of the app. Choosing the right colors is key. Components allow you to create and reuse design elements, speeding up the design process and maintaining consistency. When building interfaces, we frequently use instances of components for objects such as icons, buttons, and cards. The instance menu enables you to quickly search, preview, and replace one component with another. To follow this course, you must begin with my Figma file. All wireframe, color, and text styles, components, asset, and prototype have already been created, making them useful for the rest of the course. Now, we're ready to get started. In this section, we will explore inspiration and how it can help us make decisions and be creative. We'll also go over some design principles to help us create successful apps. Then, we will plan the app's structure by creating a wireframe, which is a visual layout of the app's features. Before designing an app, I like to go on Dribbble for inspiration. I take notes on what catches my eye and think about how I can incorporate similar elements into my own design. Then, I add my personal touch by experimenting with colors, typography, and layout to make it unique and different. Before designing an app, you need to know what type of app you want to make and what features it should have. Do some research on the subject and audience before starting. Once you have a good idea of the app's goals and audience, you can start thinking about how it should look and work. We will be building a music maker app inspired by GarageBand, which aims to provide a fun and interactive experience for beginner musicians. It includes a range of instruments and sound effects, tutorials, and recording capabilities so users can save and share their compositions. We can start by creating a wireframe, which is a visual representation of the app's layout. This allows us to experiment with different design options without committing to any one direction. Once we have a solid wireframe, we can add more detail and refine our design choices. We will choose UI elements that fit our design goals and satisfy our intended users. Popular UI elements include buttons, menus, text fields, icons, and images. Think about how these elements will be utilized in the app and how they will aid its functionality. Consistency is key when it comes to app UI design. Create a consistent visual design across all screens of the app, using a consistent color palette, typography, and style. This will help users understand how to navigate the app and create a cohesive and professional look and feel. So welcome in my Figma file. In the page section, you have UI design, wireframe, color and text styles, components, assets, and the prototype. In the wireframe page, I already prepared it for you, so you can take the wireframe and skip this section and meet me at the section 3. Or you can follow the course and create wireframe with me. So we won't create a wireframe for the other 3 screens. We're going to focus only the 3 first screen, which is onboarding, login, and home screen. Now click on the plus icon to add a new page. This is where we're going to design. Press F on your keyboard and select iPhone 14 Pro Frame. Duplicate 2 more by pressing Command and C, then Command and V to paste it. Name the layer by onboarding, login, and home screen. Select all the 3 frames and set 50 on the corner radius. We'll begin with the onboarding screen. We're going to start by using rectangle to create the button element. Press on R or go to the Shape tool. Create a rectangle of 160 by 44. We're going to set 20 on the corner radius, but it doesn't matter because we're going to add detail after. Now we're going to focus only in the wireframe. The spacing between the rectangle and the frame is 82 from the bottom. Press on Option to see the spacing number. Then click on Align Horizontal Centers to place the element in the center. Duplicate the rectangle by pressing on Command and C. Then, press on Command and V to paste it. Change the size to 160 by 34. This rectangle is reserved for the title. The title is often the first thing a reader sees, so we must place it at the top. Name the layer by title and the other rectangle by button. Create 3 rectangles of 345 by 17. Then, set 16:1 the spacing between items. Set 10 on the corner radius. This section should contain a short and informative description of the app, so we're going to name the 3 rectangles by description. Set 8 on the spacing instead of 16. The title spacing between the title rectangle and description should be 24. Select them and move down. The spacing between the button is 40. We make some space to add a bigger rectangle of 393 by 480 for the illustration. Make sure that your layer is inside the frame, then name by illustration. Place everything in the center. Let's take the login frame. All elements will be aligned to the left and will have a spacing of 24 from the left margin. In this screen, we must consider the important parts such as the title, the email and password fields, the button, and also social media connections. Create a rectangle for the title as 90 by 17. Set 10 on the corner radius. Name by title. Place it at 24 from the left. Next, duplicate the rectangle for the field and change to 345 by 44. The spacing between the two elements is 8. Then, name the layer by field. Set 20 on the corner radius. Select the two rectangles, duplicate them, and place them below for the password field. Duplicate the same rectangle is going to be for the button and name it by button. Select them and move down. We're going to create ellipses reserved for the social media connections. Press O to activate the ellipse tool. Then, press Shift while dragging to get a perfect circle of 44 by 44. Duplicate 2 more and the spacing between elements is 16. Place them in the center. Duplicate the title rectangle. Change the height size to 34 and the corner radius to 20. Duplicate one of the rectangle and change the height size to 15. Place it below the button. Duplicate another and place at the right. Duplicate again and place it below the icons. Let's name the layer. The last part of creating wireframe is the home screen. Create the first rectangle of 285 by 44. Spacing is 24 from the left and set 20 on the corner radius. Create an ellipse of 44 by 44. Place it at the right of the first rectangle. Then, create a rectangle of 345 by 160 and 20 on the corner radius. Create a rectangle with dimensions of 100 by 100. It's going to be for the instrument selection. Duplicate it 3 more and click on Tidy Up to have the same spacing. Then change to 16 and 10 on the corner radius. Duplicate the rectangle and change to 100 by 17. Duplicate the title element and create a rectangle of 156 by 183. Duplicate it 2 more with a spacing of 16 between elements and from the title. Select them and duplicate and place it below. Let's rename the layer. We have finished creating our wireframe. Now we can add UI elements such as color, text, illustrations, and layout. Good typography is really important for clear and visually appealing language. It's not just about fonts, but also size, style, spacing, and alignment. When you choose the right typography, it can really help clarify the information hierarchy, highlight important content, and convey your brand's identity. In this section, we'll go over some typography principles and how to create and use text styles, including icons resources. Choosing the right fonts is important for creating effective designs. The most important thing is to make sure that the text is legible, even at smaller sizes. Free fonts are available on Google Fonts. Today, we'll use Public Sans, a versatile open-source font family that complements Apple and Google's system fonts. Public Sans works well for app UI, web, and print design, and is cross-platform compatible. Understanding typefaces is one thing, but knowing how to use them is another. Good typography takes time and attention to detail. For example, avoid using bold or italic styles if the font doesn't support them. To ensure legibility, there should be enough contrast between the font and background. Black or white is typically the best choice for text, as they contrast well with most colors. Use white or a light color for text on dark backgrounds, and black or a dark color for text on light backgrounds. Body text should be lighter than headings to create visual hierarchy. For example, if the heading color is white, the body text should also be white with a 60% opacity or a lighter color such as light blue. When choosing font weights, consider bold, regular, light, medium, semi-bold, and extra bold. Experiment with these options to find the perfect match for your design style. For a large title, use bold. For the headline, use medium. And for everything else, use regular. According to Apple's Human Interface Guidelines, font size for body text should be at least 17. For headlines in iOS, a minimum of 20 and a maximum of 34 are recommended. For subheadings, the recommended font size range is from 14 pt to 18. Navigation bar titles should be 17 and tab bar items should be 11. Creating text styles can save you a lot of time and ensure consistency in your designs. By creating and using text styles, you can easily apply the same typography throughout your design. To create a new text style, select the text layer and go to the Text Styles tab in the Properties panel. Click the plus button, name the style descriptively, and click Create to save it. Text alignment refers to where the text is positioned in a design. There are 3 types: left, right, and center. Each has its own strengths and weaknesses. Left-aligned text is the most common and works for all types of documents. Right-aligned text is less common and is used for special purposes. Centered text is popular for titles and headings. Icons provide visual clarity to quickly and effectively convey a message or idea without requiring written text. They take up less space than text, making them useful in compact interfaces. Additionally, icons may make interfaces more intuitive and easier to use by reducing the need for written instructions. Today, we're going to use SF Symbol Browser plugin. Also, the Open Iconic icons set by IconDuck and Social Icons. You can find all the icons in my asset page. Let's get the wireframe we made. We're going to change the background color to #212739 to design for dark mode. Select the onboarding wireframe. We're going to replace the rectangle with text, and then delete the shape. Select the first rectangle. Press on T and write Music Band. To add a text style, click on the 4 points icon in the text section. Select Large Title. Then click on the 3 points to go to the typesetting. Choose Auto Width. We can delete the shape. For the 3 rectangles, we're going to add a description. We're going to change to Headline Text Style instead of Large Title and adjust the text frame to fit 3 lines of text. For the alignment, we're going to select Align Center. As we learned earlier, the second text should be lighter than the primary text. We're going to reduce the opacity to 60%. We're done applying text style on the onboarding screen. Now let's take the login wireframe. We're going to apply text styles to 6 specific locations. The 3 larger rectangles represent the fields and button, while the 3 circles represent the icons. Select the first rectangle, press T, and write login using the large title text style. Go to Typesetting and choose Auto Width. Duplicate and change the text to email using the headline text style. Duplicate. Move down to the other rectangle and change the text to password. Above the 3 circles, there are 2 small rectangles. We will add Remember Me using the call-out text style. Then duplicate the text and change it to Forget Password. Again, duplicate the text and move down to the last rectangle. Write Need an Account? Sign up. Let's take the last screen. Press T to open the text tool, then write Lessons using the headline text style on the 3 small rectangles. Make sure to select Align Left, then select Auto Width in the typesetting. To use the icon plugin, right-click on the canvas and select either the SF Symbol Browser or Open Iconic icon. This will open a panel with settings. It's quick and simple to use. Just browse and search for your desired icon, then click on it or drag it onto the canvas. Bring the icon on the ellipse in the home screen page. Resize to 17. Group the icon and the shape together. Now we need social media icon for these 3 circles. Let's go to the component page. Go to the icons section and copy the Facebook icon. Now select the first ellipse. Right-click and click on Paste to replace. Do the same thing with the other circles. The fun thing with components is we can swap instances easily. Go to the properly one and change the icons. Finally, we're done with the text style and the icons. In the next section, we're going to finish the onboarding screen. An onboarding screen is crucial for any mobile app or website's user experience. It's the first thing users see and introduces them to the key features, benefits, and functions. In this section, we'll provide tips to design an effective onboarding screen, a valuable chance to make a great first impression. Keep it short and simple. Onboarding should introduce new users to your app quickly and effectively. Use clear language to describe your app and highlight its key features with buttons and an accent color. For example, this app is focused on photo and video editing. To make your app easy to use, ensure that buttons are self-explanatory and use big, readable typography. Your content should clearly convey the purpose of your app. For example, if it's a movie app, use vibrant colors and images that evoke the experience of watching a movie in virtual reality. Use well-contrasted text for readability and ensure that your spacing and structure encourage users to read through your content. Align text, images, and buttons to create an inviting design that will engage users. To ensure users don't leave the app before using it, the onboarding process should strike a balance between providing enough information and not overwhelming them. Too many screens can be counterproductive, so it's best to keep it brief and focused on the most important features. This can be achieved using just a few screens or even a single one with clear and concise information about how to use the app and its key benefits. Consider making the onboarding process optional to enhance the user experience. Long and monotonous onboarding screens can discourage users from engaging with the app. Allowing users to skip the process if they prefer can create a more positive experience overall. Eye-catching illustrations can create a positive first impression on your app users and increase their engagement during the onboarding process. They also help to simplify complex information and make the process more enjoyable. Here are some resources to find catchy illustrations. FreePic is a top website for graphic resources, including illustrations, vector art, icons, PSD files, and photos. You can find a wide variety of illustrations on Unsplash and searching for images that match your needs. Check out the Figma community. It offers a variety of illustration and more. Last but not least, Midjourney is an AI-based platform that helps artists and designers create high-quality digital content quickly and easily. Well, let's go back to where we were. We have already added the text and color background. Now we need to include an illustration, gradient text, and gradient button. Let's add an illustration from the asset page or one that you have chosen. Copy the illustration and then paste inside the frame. The image is 1024 by 1024 pixels, so we need to scale it down. Press K to activate the scale tool. Select the edge and drag it to fit the frame. After scaling, make sure to place the image at the top. And we can delete the shape. You will notice a contrast between the image and the background. To blend them together, we need to create another frame and add gradient colors. Hide the other elements so we can focus solely on the illustration and the background. Press on F and create a frame of 393 by 440. Make sure to align it to the bottom. You will notice that the other layer is inside the new frame. We have to move them out of the frame. I'm going to resize my image to be bigger. Click on the plus icon in the Fill section. Choose Linear. Add 4 colors. I'm going to move the frame in the canvas, so I can use the eyedropper to have the same color as the bottom of the illustration. The first color. Select the eyedropper and click on the illustration to have the same color, for the second color is the same. The third second is the color background, and the fourth color is the same. I'm going to bring back the frame inside the onboarding frame, align bottom and align horizontal. Now we're going to play with the opacity to blend it. The first color we're going to set to 0%. The second color is going to be 100%. Take the second color and place it at the bottom of the illustration to blend it. Select the third color and set the opacity to 60%. The fourth color is going to be 100%. Bring the frame layer at the top of the illustration layer. Group them by pressing Command and G, then name by background. We can now unhide the other layers. We need a status bar and home indicator. To quickly search your components, go to Assets and type the status bar and home indicator. Now search for the home indicator and bring it inside the frame. Align it at the bottom and horizontal center. Select the two texts and the button layers and move them up. Press T. We're going to add a longer title. Write, play, learn, and make music. The alignment is center. We're going to select Title 3, Text Style. Then go to Typesettings. Select Auto Width. Align with the large title and set to horizontal center. Select the actual title and type width. Select Width and change the text style to Title 3. Select Music Band. We're going to add a gradient text color. Go to Fill, choose Linear. Place the color tool in horizontal. Set the starting color to #02D5FF and the ending color to #C84CFF. Set the opacity to 100%. Select the first text, and I just realized my text didn't apply the Title 3. To complete the app, we need to add a button for navigation. Without it, the app won't work. Auto layout is the easiest way to create the layout and requires fewer steps than other options. Buttons with icons should be at least 44x44 to ensure that they are easy to tap with a finger. When buttons are too small, users may accidentally tap the wrong button. Press T and type Get Started. Use the headline text style. The button will be a light color. The text color should be black. Select the text, right-click, click on Add Auto Layout, or press on Shift+A for the shortcut. To resize the frame, change it to Fixed Width and Height, then set the W box to 160 and the H box to 44. Set center for the alignment. We can now delete the shape. Select back your text frame, add fill, then set 20 on the corner radius. Click on the 4-point icon from the fill section. You will see all the color styles that I created for you. Select blue-pink gradient for button. Let's do the spacing. We're going to use the 8-point grid, which is a design system that uses multiples of 8. It ensures a consistent and balanced layout by maintaining the same size and distance between elements. The spacing is 56 from the home indicator, 40 from the button and the text. Then the description and the title is 32, 8 for the two titles. Okay, make sure all the element is in the center. We're done with the onboarding screen. Now let's go to the next step. We're going to learn about colors. Color and gradients are important parts of app design, as they can have a big impact on how an application looks and feels. By choosing the right colors, designers can create interfaces that communicate the intended message or emotion effectively to users. This tutorial covers the basics of color and gradients and gives tips for using them in your UI design. An accent color highlights important information and enhances visual interest. It creates contrast and guides the eye towards key messages, making the composition more impactful. It's important to maintain a consistent color scheme throughout your app. This means using the same set of colors across all screens and elements to create a cohesive look and feel. Choosing a color palette can be difficult, but there are several plugins available that can provide you with lots of inspiration. Two examples are Color Palette and Palette. These plugins allow you to try out different color combinations and find the perfect shades that will match your design. Color can convey different moods and emotions, so it's important to choose colors that align with the message and tone of your app. In the example, the two color palettes demonstrate a huge difference. I carefully selected these colors to evoke joy in my users. Gradients are a popular visual design element in app UI design. They add depth, dimension, and visual interest. A subtle gradient can add texture without overpowering other elements, while a bold gradient can create a dramatic effect. Types of gradients used in app UI design include linear, radial, and angled. Linear gradients are smooth transitions between two or more colors in a straight line. I will show you a quick example by selecting these two colors. Radial gradients create a circular transition from the center of an object to its edges. This is perfect for creating the pad on the drum screen. Let me show you another example. We can create a 3D sphere by playing with the colors. The center color should be lighter to create the light effect. Angular gradients allow for more complex transitions as they can be angled in any direction. We will use these gradients to create a realistic metallic button. We will add 3 more color points. We will select the right point and choose the darkest color. The top color is going to be the lighter. The color from the left will be lighter than the dark blue, and then the last is darker than the color from the top. If you realize that you have a 5th color, then delete it. Also, we can play with the directions. A color style is a predefined color value that can be applied to objects and text within your designs. Once you create a color style, you can use it throughout your designs, and if you need to make changes to the color later on, you can update the style, and all instances of that style will update automatically. To create a color style, select the object layer that has the color you want to save as a style. Go to the Fill section, click on the 4-point icon, and click on the plus. Then name it, add a description, and save it. Take back the other wireframe. So we're already done the onboarding screen in the last section. Now, we're going to focus on the color. Take the login screen. We will add the same gradient as the title on the login screen to maintain consistency. Go to Color Style and choose Gradient Text Style. Select Email and Password. Choose the white color style, which is white with 82% opacity. Now select the 2 text layers below the 3rd rectangle. Choose the white 60% color style. Then select the last text. Choose the white 60% color style. Select the 3rd rectangle. Fill it with the blue-pink gradient style for button. Select the home screen. Select the 4 rectangles and fill them with the gray base style. Select the 6 remaining rectangles and fill them with dark gray style. Select the text and choose white style. We will come back to finish the home screen. Now select back the login screen. Select Sign Up. Change the style to white. Let's grab the drum wireframe from the wireframe page. We're going to add a background color using the background color style. I've already created 4 styles for the drum with the accent color. We have pink, green, blue, and yellow-green style. Let's make this screen pop. Color is a crucial element in UI design as it can impact a user's emotions and the accessibility of the app. To create a great app, you need to understand color theory, choose a suitable color scheme, and use color to convey mood and branding. In the next section, we will finish designing the login screen. A well-designed login screen not only makes it easy for users to log in or register, but it also establishes brand recognition and builds trust with the user. In this section, we will discuss the key elements of a successful login screen for your app. When designing a login screen, it's important to keep things simple and clean. Avoid cluttering the screen with unnecessary elements that might confuse or distract the user. Instead, stick to a minimalistic design that is easy to navigate and user-friendly. The login screen should have clear and simple instructions that guide the user through the process. Use intuitive design elements such as buttons, text boxes, and drop-down menus. to make it easy for the user to input their information. Illustrations can enhance the visual appeal of the login screen, reinforcing brand identity and creating a cohesive look and feel. Catchy illustrations capture users' attention, improving the user experience. However, illustrations should not distract from usability or confuse users. Many login screens allow users to log in via their social media accounts, for example, Facebook, Google. This is convenient because users don't need to create new accounts and can use their existing login information. Okay, let's go back to our design page. We're going to focus only in the login screen. I'm going to hide the other screen. Now we need illustration. Let's go to the asset page and select the illustration that you want or another illustration. The image is 1024 by 1024 pixels, so we need to scale it down. Press K to activate the scale tool. Select the edge and drag it. Make sure to align top and align horizontal center. After scaling, place the image at the bottom of your layer list. I'm going to scale down a little bit. You can see a contrast between the illustration and the background. We will do the same thing we did on the onboarding screen. Press on F and create a frame of 393 by 546. It will automatically add the layer inside the new frame. We have to remove everything inside the frame. Go to the Fill section and select Linear. We will be using 4 colors. The first color is 0, D1731 at 0%. The second color is 0, D1731 at 100%. The third color is 212739, and the last color is the same as the third color. We will place the second color directly at the bottom of the illustration to blend it. Then, select the third color, set the opacity to 60%, and the last color at 100%. Select the rectangle below the email text. Add a linear gradient that starts at color 11131C and ends at color 1D2130. Change the corner radius to 10. Now add a stroke with a 1px width. Choose linear gradient that starts at color white with 0% and ends at color white with 10%. We need an icon. You can search from the plugin, or you can use mine in the component page. The fast way to get it, type icon on the Assets section and bring it into the frame. Place the icon top the left of the rectangle and align it. Select the icon component and the rectangle. Press on Command and G to group them. Then, select the component and go to the Properties section. Choose the email icon. Name the layer by email field. Then, copy the group and paste to replace to the other rectangle. Select the icon component, change the icon to password. We're going to add home indicator and the status bar. Type home indicator in the Assets section. Place it at the bottom and center it. Now type status bar and bring it at the top of the frame. We're going to create a separator, but first we need to do some space. Press L to create a line of 345 in length. Make sure it's 0 on the rotation, and remove the decimal number and round it. Go to Fill, add a solid color white, and reduce the opacity to 10%. Press T and type OR in uppercase. Go to Typesetting, select Auto Width. Then change the style to Caption 2. Now press on Shift and A to add Auto Layout. We're going to keep the dimensions of 36 by 34. Fill with the color background. Press on Ctrl and C to activate the eyedropper tool. Add stroke with the color white. Reduce the opacity to 10%. In the corner radius, set it to 4. Align with the line. Add the line and the text frame in a group and name as separator. Let's do a cleanup in the layer section and name the layers to be more organized. We're going to copy the button from the onboarding screen, then paste to replace to the rectangle in the login screen. Change the width size to 345. Set 10 on the corner radius. This is the spacing between all the items. The spacing is 16 between the home indicator and the text. The text and the icon is 16. The separator and the icon is 16. The separator and the to text is 16 too. The to text and the button is 16. Then the button and the password field is 24. Password and email field is 16. Then the email field and the title is 24. If you follow these spacing, your screen should look like this. Don't forget to change the text button to login using the uppercase. You have successfully created a login screen using the tips we just learned for an effective and user-friendly login experience for your app. In the next section, I will show you how to generate an image with AI and finish the home screen. In recent years, generating images using AI has become a popular trend. In this section, we will explore the future of content creation with Midjourney and learn to efficiently generate images using the Midjourney bot. By doing so, we can join the ranks of leading creators and use these images in our designs. We will also finish designing the home screen. Midjourney is an AI-based platform that helps artists and designers create high-quality digital content quickly and easily. Its advanced technology and user-friendly interface simplify the process of bringing ideas to life, producing stunning digital assets without requiring specialized technical skills. To start using Midjourney, visit their homepage and click on the Join the Beta button. This will redirect you to a page where you can continue to their Discord channel and register for the service. Once you have completed the registration process, you will be able to access the web-based Discord platform or download the desktop app. On the Midjourney official server, choose a newbies channel from the list displayed on the left sidebar. To use Midjourney bot on Discord, type /imagine prompt. Now type your image description. So here is just an example. Now type your image description and then click on enter. Once you've entered your image description, Midjourney processes the job and generates 4 image options in about a minute using its powerful AI technology. The U buttons upscale the size of an image, generating an enlarged version of the selected image that includes additional details. By clicking on the V buttons, you can produce minor modifications of the selected grid image. This action generates a fresh image grid that maintains the overall style and composition of the original image. Here is my new version. You can see some minor modifications of the selected image. And here is my selected image. To save it, we must click on the image and right-click on Save Image to download. You can find all your images on your Midjourney page. Let's go back to our design page. We're going to focus on the home screen. Copy the password field group from the login screen. Then select the rectangle from the home screen and paste to replace. Select the rectangle and reduce width to 285. Now let's change the icon to search. Press on T, write search, and choose callout style. Go to typesetting and see whose auto width H. A line in the center and the spacing is 0 from the icon. Make sure to place the text layer inside the group. Then, bring the group at the top. Change the name of the layer by search field. Now, we're going to design the account button. We're going to replace the ellipse by a rectangle of the same size, 44 by 44. Make sure to place the rectangle inside the group. We can now delete the ellipse. Set 6 on the corner radius. Then copy the property of the rectangle from the search field and paste properties to the new rectangle. Set the corner radius to 6. Duplicate the rectangle. Change the size to 40 by 40. Align in the center and set 4 in the corner radius. Fill it with the color #2C334A. Add a stroke, choose linear. The top color is white at 10% and the bottom color is black at 0%. The width size is 0.5 and the icon color is white 60% style. Select the rectangle base and change the width to 0.5. Go to Fill. I'm going to modify it a little bit. I will lower the color from the top down to the curve of my edge and change the color to black. Now let's go to the Components page and bring the top card. Paste to replace the actual rectangle. Select the shape. Add a 30% white stroke. Choose Overlay. Add Drop Shadow Y offset of 20 and a 30 blur. Colored black at 25% opacity. Generate your icon from the Midjourney or choose one of mine in the Asset page. Bring the icon in the Design page. Click on the Scale tool or press on K. Drag its edge to scale it down, then place it on top of the shape. We're going to crop the image. We're going to remove the background. Right-click and click on Plugin, Remove BG. You must insert the API key to use it. Click on Run now. Okay, we will come back to finish the other layout using the component. Now, we're going to design the other layout. Create a frame of 156 by 130. Name the layer by image. Add an image inside and scale it to fit within the frame. Press T and write La Lettre à Elise. Select Auto Width and use the callout style. Duplicate the text and change it to Beethoven using the caption style. Change the color to 60%. Select the two texts and add Auto Layout. In the Auto Layout, set the vertical and horizontal padding to 8. Select the image and the text, add Auto Layout. Select the text frame, go to the Frame section and choose Fill Container. Fill it with the color #2C334A. Now select the full frame, set the corner radius to 10, and clip the content. Add a white stroke, choose Overlay, and place it outside. Add Drop Shadow Y20 and Blur 30 color black with 25%. We have learned how to generate images using AI, remove backgrounds using Remove BG, and use the Scale and Crop tool. In the next section, we will learn about components and how they can help us finish our designs faster. I have already made some components for you to use. In this section, we will explore the components that allow you to create and reuse design elements. This speeds up the design process and helps maintain consistency. We will also add layouts for the home screen and begin designing the other screens. Components are reusable elements that save time and effort by being consistent across multiple designs. They can be easily shared with others, making collaboration simpler. Changes made to a component update it everywhere it is used, simplifying the design process. Components help prototype designs quickly, which is helpful in the early stages of a project. Before creating a component, the first step is to design the element. Once the element has been designed, let's take this layout. There are 3 different ways to create a component. Click on the Create Component in the toolbar. You can also right-click on your selection and choose Create Component, or use the keyboard shortcuts, Option plus Command plus K. Variants are components that offer multiple versions without creating a new component for each variation. They're useful when creating similar components with slight style or content differences, such as buttons with different text labels or colors. Variants are especially helpful when creating design systems to maintain consistency in component variations while keeping the same basic structure and functionality. To create a variant in Figma, start with a base component and add variations as individual variants with different properties such as fill, color, and stroke, and text. Let's take this layout. We're going to create a selected layout. First, I'm going to rename it by instrument. I'm going to duplicate it and place it beside the layout. Select the second layout base and change the stroke color to blue-pink gradient style. This is going to be the selected instrument. Now, select the two layouts and bring them to the component page. We're going to change the first layout name by unselected, then select the second layout and write selected. Now select the two layouts and click on Create the Component Set. Copy the first component and paste it to replace your layout. Then go to Component Properties. When you use a variant component in a design, you can quickly switch between variants. To make it easier for you, I have already prepared everything for you. The only thing you have to do is to copy the component variant in your design and switch to another variant. Component properties let you modify the look or behavior of a component without creating multiple versions. Previously, creating multiple options required creating a variant for each one. With component properties, you can build logic within the component to achieve the same result with fewer variants. Let's come back with this example. We will keep the two variants instead of creating multiple variants. Add the other icon in a component. We're going to use the instant swap, which allows users to swap components inside another component directly from the property panel. Then copy one component icon and paste it into the other component. Make sure to align it with the base. Do the same thing with the selected variant. Select the icon component. We're going to create instant swap property. Name by icon and add preferred value. Select the other icon components. Then click on Create Property. Now let's try it out. Go to the component properties. You have property 1, which you can switch between selected and unselected. Then you can swipe the instance for the icon. We can do a lot with component properties. Like this layout, we can add the text property, the instant swap property, and variant property. So I created the variant property for you to swipe easily between variants. But you can't change the content inside. So I will show you how to add the property to your component. Let's create the instant swap property for the image. So you need to create a component for each image you want to include in this layout. It's important to name your layers so you can find them easier. But first, I'm going to select the two layouts and add them to a component set. Copy and replace the image component with the image in the layout component. Don't forget to do the same thing in the unselected layout component. Now select the image component inside the layout component. Click on Create a Component Property. Name by image and add the preferred value, which is image 2 and image 3. Select the first text. We're going to add text property. Go to the Content section and click on Create Text Property. Name by title and click on Create Property. Do the same thing with the second text. This time we're going to name by musician. Copy the component and paste it into your design. We're going to test it. In the component properties, we can switch between variant, the selected, and unselected. We can swipe instances with other components. We can change the text directly too. Now it's time to finish our design using the component. Navigate to the Assets panel next to the Layers panel to find your component faster. it missing the tab bar. Type the tab bar in the asset and align it at the bottom of the frame. I won't show you how to design the tab bar, but you can watch my previous course which I design everything from scratch, including the tab bar, without using the component. Now add the status bar and place it at the top of the frame. Select the search field and the account. Place them in a group or frame, name by top navigation. Bring the top card layer below the top navigation. Change the text to instruments. Make sure to delete the other shape that we used for the wireframe. Select all the instrument layouts. The distance is 8 from the text. Then, group them and name them by instrument. The spacing is 24 between the instruments group and the top card. The spacing is 8 between the large layout and text. Add them in a group, name by lesson. Do the same thing. The spacing is 8 from the layout and the text. Group them, name the layer by my recording, and change the text by my recording. Bring the tab bar layer at the top. The spacing is 16 from the top navigation and the status bar. The spacing is 24 from the top navigation and the top card, and 24 from the top card and the instruments group. The spacing is 24 from the top navigation and the top card, and 24 from the top card and the instruments group. It's the same thing, and the spacing is 24 between elements. We're finished. Now we're going to design realistic UI design in the last section. The last section is super important because it's all about practice, which will give our element more depth and detail. We'll be designing a realistic UI in landscape mode. We'll explore design elements like inner shadows, drop shadows, and gradients. First, select the 2 piano frames and add the background color style for the background. We're going to start with the drum frame. For the top navigation, it's the same technique that we did in section 7. So we're going to take the layout from the component, type small button, and replace each square. Now add the medium button and replace it with the other shape. You can copy the component, then paste it to replace it if you don't want to delete all the shapes afterward. Take the AB button and replace it. Take the title layout and change the variant in the variant section. Now let's design the setting controller. Go to Fill and add Linear Gradient. The top color is #2C334A, and the colors at the bottom is #3D485D. Place the color diagonally. We're going to add stroke with 4 colors. We're going to place them like this. The first color is black at 40%, the second is black at 20%, and third is black at 10%. And the last color is white at 20%. We're going to add more detail. Add effect, select drop shadow, set 0.5 on the Y field and 0.5 on blur with black color 25%. So we add a fine line at the bottom of the shape. We're going to do the same thing this time. We will add a light fine line at the top. Add drop shadow with -0.5 on the Y and 0.5 on the blur with the color white 20%. Create a smaller rectangle with dimensions of 8 by 171 inside the larger rectangle. Select the corner radius to 4. Align it in the center of the bigger rectangle. We're going to fill it with the color hash 333844. Add a stroke of 0.5 width. Choose linear and add 4 colors. Select the first color is black at 100%, The second color is black at 20%, the third color at 10%, and the last color is white at 20%. Select the second color and move it up to the point where the curve stops. We're going to do the same thing. Select the third color and move it down to the point where the curve stops. To create a depth effect, we will add inner and drop shadow. Go to Effect and select Inner Shadow, set 2 on the Y, set 2 on the X, and 4 on the blur, with color black at 25%. Add another inner shadow, set 2 on the Y, blur 1, and color black at 25%. Add inner shadow, with X-1 and Y-1, then blur 3, the color #4, 0, 4, 6, 5, 5. So you can see the light shadow, but I want to add more depth. I'm going to choose a lighter color. Okay, I like it better like that. The new color is 4E566A. Add a drop shadow with Y 0.5, blur 0.5, and color black at 25%. We're going to add another drop shadow with Y minus 0.5, blur 0.5, and color white at 15%. Now let's create a rectangle of 2 by 163, a line in the center with the other shape. Fill with the color black and set the corner radius to 1. Duplicate the rectangle and change the color to 0DFFDD. Reduce the height to 133. We will lower the shape. Duplicate the rectangle and we're going to add some glow. Select the below rectangle and add layer blur to 3. Create a rectangle of 36 by 30. Set 10 on the corner radius. Go to Fill and add Linear Gradient. The first color is 4D556D and the second color is 2D344B. Add a stroke of 0.5 widths. The first color is black and the bottom is white, reducing the opacity to 30%. Then, add drop shadow Y20 and blur 30, with the color black 30%. We're going to add another drop shadow, Y6 and blur 10, with the color black at 30%. Sorry, I made a mistake. Let's go back to the stroke. We will reverse the colors. White is on top and black is on the bottom. Now we're going to group everything and name the layer by setting controller F1. We're going to design the metallic button. We're going to copy the properties of this rectangle, then paste to the ellipse. You will see that the shape is changing to a rectangle. We're going to set 50 on the corner radius. We don't need the stroke, we can delete it. Also, we can delete one drop shadow. Change the setting in the drop shadow panel to Y4 and blur 4. Press on O, creates an ellipse of 42 by 42. Align with the other shape. Add an angular gradient. We will put 4 colors in each corner. The first color is B, A, B, E, D, and B. The second color is 2, 3, 2, 8, 3, B. The third color is 9, 4, 9, A, B, and 8. And the last color is 3, 9, 3, C, 5, and 2. Now, let's add a stroke and choose linear. Top color is black with 60%, and the bottom is black with 30%. Change the width to 0.5. Group the 2 ellipses and name them by metallic button. We still have 2 shapes to fill. Copy the metallic button and paste it to replace the other ellipse. We can also take the component from the asset page. For the other shape, I'm going to select the component and replace it. Now I can delete the shape and the text. Now, we have to change the icon in the Variant section. Select the second button and change the variant to Lessons. Select this button and change to Play. The last, we're going to select to record and the selected button. Now it's time to replace the other empty shape. Change the variant and move it from the left. The spacing should be 16 from the button. For this rectangle, we will replace it with the small piano. We can delete the shape and align it in the center. The spacing should be 16. Copy the properties of the component, then paste properties to the large rectangle. We're going to duplicate the rectangle and change the width size to 748. Delete fill and stroke. We don't need it. We're going to select the rectangle and add in a frame. Bring the big piano inside the frame. Make sure to clip content. Don't forget to align center. I'm going to change the variant and place your piano the way you want. Now, let's take the last screen. Copy the properties of the title layout component base and paste them onto the two rectangles. Press R to create a rectangle with 48 by 140. Place it at the left of the large rectangle. The spacing should be 8 from the top and left. Set the stroke to 3 on the two top corners. Add stroke, choose linear. The color for both is black. First, we're going to reduce to 10% and the bottom 5%. Create a rectangle of 48 by 12. Move it down. Add linear. The first color is #D, 9D, 9D, and 9. And the color at the bottom is white. Now move up. The spacing is 9 from the top. Select the two corners bottom at set 3 on the corner radius. Group them and name them by white key. Duplicate 2 more white key groups. The spacing between them is 1. Duplicate the white key group. We're going to change to the black key. Change the name by the black key. Select the shape and change its size to 32 by 78. Now, change the color to #2, 3, 2, A, 3, and D. And the color at the bottom is #3, 2, 3, A, 5, and 6. Select the smaller rectangle and move it below the other rectangle. Change its size to 32 by 10 and its color to 2, 1, 2, 8, 3, and B, and 3, 2, 3, A, 5, and 6. Select the smaller rectangle and move up. The spacing should be 3. Go back to linear and place the first color that aligns with the bottom of the shape. Remove the corner radius and stroke. We don't need them. Select the black key and align it in the middle between the two white keys. Then, duplicate the black key and align it. Duplicate the 3 white keys and the 2 black key. If you play the piano, you will notice that the black key is grouped by 2 and another group by 3. So I'm going to duplicate another white key and another black eye to follow the sequence. Now, let's select it all and duplicate it. We need 15 white keys and 10 black keys in total. After that, select all and tidy up, and set 2 on the spacing between items. We will create a game that allows the user to press the right key when the color in the square is coming up. I will add the ruler and lines to guide me to be well aligned. And I now create shapes with the same width and different heights. Then I will put the colors. Select all 6 new shapes and the base and add in a frame. Don't forget to clip content. We're going to add some glow. Duplicate the shape, increase the height and add layer blur to 30. I'm going to add more glow by doing the same technique. Congratulations guys, we finished the course. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my course and learned a lot of new things. See you next time.